other people. Dahil po, iba-iba po tayo ng views, iba-iba po tayo ng paninindigan, at iba-iba po tayo ng paniniwala. We have to always bear that in mind na iba-iba po tayo ng paniniwala, hindi po lahat ng gusto natin ay dapat yun din ang gusto ng iba. We have to post in a way na we are educating other people, not pushing them to believe in what we believe in. Because the very essence of posting something online is to educate people or inform people. If they will not conform to it, then it's okay. Okay lang po na hindi sila maniwala. Okay lang po na hindi sila sumunod. Because at the end of the day, it's their own idea. It's their own accountability. Sila din po ang haharap onto whatever judgment it may be. It's your own. Sarili mo na yon. The important part is that you've informed them in a very polite way, in a very considerate way. Considering that your audience are of people with different walks in life, no? Now, effective leadership, ito lang po before we end. You jot down your questions na because we're towards the end of our presentation. I have here few reminders to everyone kung paano po natin siya, paano ba dapat tayo online? Paano ba dapat ang mukha natin online? First, delegate because not everything is about you, no? Most especially pag ito ay isang group activity, let's say for example, group activity, this also applies to everything, not just online. Delegate because not everything is about you, no? Hindi lang po siya ito tungkol sa iyo. Most especially if you're fact-checking, okay lang po na magtanong. Hindi po nakakasama ang magtanong, hindi po nakakasama ang mag-fact-check, no? Hindi po siya nakakasama. Always check and update. Be visible all the time. What do you mean by always check and update? We always check yung atin pong mga ginagawa online. We have to update ourselves of what's doing online. Be visible by means of hindi po ito ibig sabihin na lahat ng issue ay papatulan mo. What I mean by be visible is that you have to always be updated of what's going on, most especially in your surroundings, in the environment that you're in. Monitor and evaluate, be brutally frank, most especially to yourself. Monitor yourself, evaluate yourself, and be brutally frank to yourself. Tama pa ba ang ginagawa ko? Evaluate yourself. Tama ba itong pinost ko? Tama ba itong sinabi ko sa comment? No? And admit if you're wrong. Nothing is wrong with that. Be professional and no hard feelings. Be professional online. Hindi yung pag sinabihan ka ng may narinig ka lang na ganito, ipopost mo agad. No, be professional online. Because guys, if hilingin po sa ating kaalaman, I actually then aside from being an operations officer, I'm also in charge of the human resource management of our office. Isa din po sa tinitingnan namin sa lahat po ng applicants na pumapasok sa amin is the profile of a person online. No? Aside from yung pinapasa ninyong curriculum vitae, resume, letter, aside po dun sa usual practice, aside from the interview, isa din po sa hiring process namin ay tinitingnan din po ang inyong visibility online. Ano ba ito siya? Burara ba ito na tao online? Bastos ba ito na tao online? Yun. And it actually reflects soon enough if you're applying for a job. It's very important. So be professional online. And last, be grounded. Ayaw pag hinambog kay di pakahawon. No? We always have to remember that hindi kita magpa-bright online, most especially if hindi naman tayo sure sa mga sinishare natin online. Hindi kita as if all-knowing because at the end of the day, tayo din po ang masisira at mapapahiya if our what we post online is not credible, it's not true. So we have to always check to ourselves, no? Na always stay on the ground. Always stay on the ground. Dapat always we are open for new learnings. We are open for kapag alam natin na ito ay nakakabuti sa atin, we should be open for everything, for constructive criticism, no? Okay lang po 'yon na tayo ay napagsasabihan paminsan-minsan. It's also a way of reminding ourselves na medyo sumosobra na ako online or medyo passive ako online. It's okay. Nothing is wrong with that, no? Always check yourself online. Most especially na parang most of our time ay nasa online platform na po tayo. So I think that ends our discussion, for our first discussion. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you've learned something. If you have questions, you can raise your hand. Para din, or you can open your mic. Yes. Kanila. Okay, sinong unahin natin? Wait. Sige, isa-isa tayo. Yes. Sinong pwede mauna? Wait lang. Sige po. I'm seeing Raida. You have a question?
Hello. No, I don't have a question, sir. I just want to say thank you. Kasi kami yung beneficiary mo po sa atong kwan po. Yung sa EIX po.
Yes. It's not actually me. It's not actually me personally. It's the organization. And I also want to congratulate you for that. I don't want to take the credits for that kasi hindi naman po ako yun personally. But it's the organization. Naging instrumento lang din po ako sa pagbibigay ng ganoon pong help towards other people. But anyways, you're welcome. In behalf of the team of Leaders of Excellence Alliance for Development Philippines, welcome. And we hope to see you in all of our engagement kasi meron kaming mga paparating na engagement. I hope you're following the page of Lead Philippines. Para
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. I'm seeing also hands from, yes, sino yung salita? Jasim, sorry. Yes po. Sige, do you have any questions, guys? So we could entertain, I think we could entertain...
Sir, ako, sir.
Yes, Januel Ignacio. Yes, what's your question?
Sir, we clearly understand your presentation, but pwede ka sang scenario ba kung paano mo ma-apply tong digital leadership para mas maintindihan pa naman ako?
Okay, yes. Okay, a scenario would be, for example, kasi po, napapansin natin, most of our friends of your age, ranging from 15 to 24, sila yung medyo active and aggressive online, no? What do you mean by aggressive is that alam ko po at naiintindihan ko po kayo sa point na you're just driving with the issues online. Nakikisabay lang po tayo sa kung anong uso, and we tend to actually treat it as a joke, no? Naiintindihan ko po. I definitely get you on that na marami naman din kasing gumagawa nun, sir. So, kuya, so what would matter? No? Ginaya ko lang naman ang caption niya. Ginawa ko na close and open to. Hindi naman po siya, I don't have the intention to actually spread fake news or to actually spread hatred online. But the thing is that marami pong nakakakita sa post natin. And one way to actually help on combating not just misinformation and disinformation online is to actually help us spread alternative narratives. No, for example, kasi dito din po sa Cotabato na issue din po before the Maris issue, nauso din po ang third party or caveat issue here in Cotabato. And what we're actually pushing is that instead of hating and makisawsaw doon sa issue ng mga tao online, I think we should always remember to ask ourselves, may mababago ba sa sitwasyon if na-post ko ito or if i-share ko ito? Would it raise awareness or would it raise negativity online? Would it raise awareness or magre-raise lang siya ng hatred towards the person? No? Ma-uplift ba ang buhay ng taong ito or ma-degrade ang buhay ng taong ito? The best way to combat misinformation and disinformation online is to shut up. No? Medyo harsh pakinggan pero totoo. Medyo harsh pakinggan pero totoo. If it's not helpful, then shut up. If you can't do anything about it, then shut up. Diba? If it wouldn't change your life or the lives of your audiences, then shut up. No? If it's not true, if it's not concise, if it does not fit the criteria of the 7 C's, then shut up. No? But if it does, if it's true, if it's good, and you feel that it's an information that everyone should read, yun yung mga dapat nating i-post. That's a scenario of every one of us can be an effective digital leader if we follow that rule. Rule of thumb is that if it's not good for us, then shut up. If it's good for us and if we think that if it's good for everyone, we spread what is good, no? What positive messaging lang, no? Nakuha po ba natin yon or you want me to give another scenario? I think it's pretty clear. I hope that you understand that scenario. Every one of us can actually be a great leader online kasi nagiging role model po tayo ng mga ibang kabataan. Sino ba ang nagpapauso? Kabataan. Kasi most of our internet users are kabataan. No? Most especially, ingat-ingat po tayo sa mga sinishare natin dahil meron po tayong mga titas, lolas, and mamas, and papas online na hindi po ganoon ka-higher level ang kanilang fact-checking skills. So, kung para sa atin yun ay joke, sa kanila po ay tinutotoo po nila. No? So, we should be very careful of that. No? Para hindi po natin ma-raise yung mga... Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sino ito? Mark James.
So, hi, sir.
Yes po.
So, I just want to ask a simple question, sir. So, why it is important to know the 7 types of communication and what is the positive effect of this if we use it? That's it, sir.
Okay. The importance is that a straightforward answer is that na-check natin hindi lamang yung ating sarili but yung post din ng iba. No? What do you mean by that? Pag na-familiarize natin ang 7 C's, we tend to actually question ourselves na tama ba itong binabasa ko? Tama ba ito na issue? Kasi minsan nakita ko sa TikTok, ganito daw ang sabi. So, rely lang ba tayo doon na function? I don't think so. If you know that, tama ba ito? Fact check na natin, tingnan natin online bet, tingnan natin kung tama ito. Because sometimes there are videos circulating online that is actually not true. Most especially with the power of AI na lahat po ay natitweet niya na nadidistort na ni AI ang lahat ng bagay at hindi na natin alam kung ano ang totoo at ano ang hindi. It's very important for us to know that so that we can actually check on what we are actually reading and check on ourselves on what we are actually sharing. No? It's very important for that. Ang nagiging positive effect noon ay hindi lamang sa iyong sarili but sa ibang tao. Number 1 is that when you're checking yourself, you're actually limiting yourself on spreading fake news, no? So hindi ka na masyadong nalilimit mo na yung self mo na I am not an enabler of fake news na because I have these 7 C's na nakikita ko na yung ibang perspective na dapat ganito, dapat ganyan. Number 2, you're actually ending the cycle of fake news din na pag na-share mo ay mababasa ng iba. So you're ending actually the cycle of fake news by that. So yun, that's the importance of knowing that. I think we could actually have one last question before we proceed. And if you have other questions, you can actually write it down or I can actually have a debriefing notes. So we could actually have we could actually answer your questions. Yes, pauna. Yes.
Si Rian ga.
Okay, Rian. Nasaan siya? Hello, Rian. Good evening.
Rian, are you raising your hand? Ay, Mangguro. Sige, si Kwan na lang, si Kina.
Yes. Okay, yes, ma'am daw. Okay, Rian?
Ay,
Rian, yes, Rian.
we
Sige,
cannot
we could
hear you,
actually-
Rian.
Yes, you're not audible. Nakamute ka. Sige, we can go back to Rian later. Shikaina, you have a question? Hello.
Feeling ko
Balikan na
na-raise
natin.
lang nilang hands nila si Niba.
Okay, sino pa? Any other questions? You can okay, yun. Okay. Is it appropriate for a digital leader to publicly criticize societal organizational issue even if their message might be perceived as negative? How can they do it without compromising their credibility or values of their platform? Again,
Rian.
number one, criticism are good if it's constructive. It's good. But make it in a way na you're not delivering it towards the negative narrative, but actually doing it in a way na you're using alternative narratives. What do you mean by that? Focus more on what you are fighting for rather than what you hate or what you're against of. Do not focus your message on ano yung hindi mo gusto, but rather than ano ba yung mga dapat nating gawin. Call to action rather than speaking of what is negative. For example, I don't like the way my organization works na sabay sa panahon, yung kung kailan lang gusto, ganun. I don't want that. So hindi ako magpo-post ng pangit ang organization namin dahil ganito, ganyan. No. No, that's negative narratives. A digital leader would say, and I don't think that posting it online is a good thing because if you could actually talk to them personally, it could be as a resort. But if, for example, if it's because criticism should actually be personal and it should not be shouted out loud online. But for example, for some issues, you could actually focus more on the alternative. Ano ba yung mga dapat nating gawin instead of, because this is not technically posting online, it could be your messaging to your group. For example, ayaw mo ng leader ng group ninyo, for example, on your research, kasi hindi man siya hindi man siya proactive, reactive man siya, kung kailan na ang deadline, saka siya wag mo naman sabihin na, alam mo leader, hindi ko talaga gusto sa'yo kasi ganito ka. No, a digital leader would say, alam mo, for example, Rian, baka pwede nating gawin natin siya ng mas maaga instead of kung kailan ang deadline doon tayo. Kasi hindi lang naman ganito yung ginagawa natin. Alam ko, busy ka din. Baka may mga gusto kang ipatulong na baka magawa na namin ngayon. Para at least kung i-check mo, you have still the time. We still also have the time to revise. Maganon. Instead of using, ikaw Abe, kay feeling mo, kay leader ka, nami ka na. Instead of doing that, you could actually focus more on what should have been done or ano ba yung dapat nating gawin instead of focusing on the negative messaging. And I hope I have answered your question, Rian. Sige. Any other questions before we we ano.
Sige, sir. Si Halandoni.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
What does it mean, sir, pagiging grounded sa context of digital leadership, sir?
Yes, ano po yun? Baka ulit siya.
What does it mean sa pagiging grounded sa context ng digital leadership, sir?
Okay, pagiging grounded in the context of digital leadership is that wag po tayong masyadong masyadong nakakataas online. Especially is we also believe that knowledge is power. We always believe in that. Pero minsan kasi minsan 'di ba pag may alam tayong information online, ang iniisip natin kasi alam natin ito, dahil alam natin ito, mas nakakataas na tayo sa iba. Or pag may nagawa tayong we think that is good, we post it online, and then we tend to actually look at ourselves na mas higher than anyone else. I think we have to tone that down. Kasi minsan kasi yung ating mga leaders din, especially when they're posting online, hindi na po napapagsabihan. And we actually have to remember that we always have to stay grounded online in a way na pag merong suggestion, if we think it's good, apply. We have to also acknowledge na tao lang din po tayo online, nagkakamali din po tayo. That's how we stay grounded. We have to always admit to ourselves na hindi po tayo perfecto, no? Even if it's online, even if dumaan pa yan kay ChatGPT, nagkakamali din po tayo. Nobody's perfect. We're still human. There is still human touch in everything that we do online, no? Everything is still, though predominantly dominated by AI, there is still human touch in everything that we do online, no? So we have to always remember na pag sinabihan po tayo na ganito or ganyan, we have to always admit to ourselves na, okay, pasensya, ako ay nagkamali. Hindi yung magpabungol-bungol na lang kahit tungod ka. Pero kailang na, gamay lang man nakakita sa itong post ko. No. Or another situation could be staying grounded is that if you want to post something online, make it a way nga hindi siya ganoon ka boastful pakinggan. Though it's your personal language to use, but again, diba, we have to be very respectful that there are someone listening and reading our post. Yun. We have to always remember that, to always stay on the ground when we are online. I think that's if you have any other question, guys, you can actually write it down, because later on I will be actually sending out a link for a Google form, so you could actually type all of your questions there, and maybe we could actually have a debriefing session for all of your questions. All right. I think that is for me for digital leadership. And now I will be passing on the virtual stage to our next speaker. Wait, I'll just have to set up my monitor first. Pasensya na po at nag-iisa lang po ang aking monitor. All right, our second speaker for this evening is actually gonna talk about how we navigate our career path as future leaders and how we set our goals and careers, no? And our second speaker is also an alumnus of Isula National High School, a former humanities and social sciences student, and now He is a proud faculty of the University of Southern Mindanao, Department of Psychology of the University of Southern Mindanao, Cabacan. Without further ado, kasi kanina pa siya nandito, also a very good friend of mine, Mr. Archie de la Cruz Cordero. Archie, good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Arch.
Okay, I'll be sharing my screen after this in order for me to assess whether the people here can actually see the presentation or na. Please do wait lang po. Yeah, here. Can you see the screen, people?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for attending this night session. I just want to tell you that I'm quite nervous since I don't particularly like talking to people, but of course, since it is something that will be beneficial for people or for the students who will be the future leaders of this country, I think it's a good event for me to participate and somehow to also contribute to your development. So anyway, the topic for this evening is how to choose a program, the common challenges in college, and how to navigate your way. So, most of you here, as what Ma'am Pontalba had told me, sabi niya sa akin na mga grade 12 students daw kayo from the UMS. And also, hello, shout out guys. I'm from UMS also. Anyway, since you are already grade 12 students, most of you are actually about to graduate. Yes, Lay. About to graduate, and some of you are already about to also take their college entrance examinations on the respective schools na gusto nilang pasukan. I don't know if some of you here plans to study in Cabacan, but I hope you do since the entrance examination is already this coming December 14 and 15. And I don't know if you already had registered, but if you still don't and the application is still open, please do so. Mas marami pong chances yung mapapasukan po nating mga paaralan and universities if we were to take examinations sa marami ring paaralan. So anyway, for our first topic, this is very short. Very short lang siya kasi upon seeing the hour, for the time na tawag nito, allotted for me to speak, it's 35 minutes. So I'll be following that time if I can. But since I'm quite talkative when it comes to presentation, I don't know. Sige, malalaman. Pero anyway, how to choose a program. Because some of you here are in the stage of Eric Erickson na identity versus role confusion, which is actually very normal for your age. Yung tawag na kapag tinanong ka anong gusto mong maging pagdating ng araw, medyo vague pa, ambiguous pa tayo. We don't know what path we should take. And actually, that's quite normal. Pero this talk will somehow help you to get into a decision on what kind of program you will be choosing pagdating ng kanya ng college ninyo. So you still have a lot of time and I hope that you make use of this time frame para at least naman makapag-isip-isip tayo kung ano ba yung program na para sa atin. Always remember lang guys, no matter what program you choose, it will always be a political program, no matter what. Kasi everything in the society is actually political, even the chairs that you are sitting. So it's up to you how you will interpret it, your perspective about it, and at the same time, how will you use that as a platform? So, first of all, we have here determine your interest and goals. Some of the people kasi, no, when we are talking about the college careers or the college program that they will be taking, majority of the time, pinupursue nila yung isang bagay because of the fact that their friends are also going to take the same program. Kahit na medyo malayo sa ating interest and goals. So first of all, ask yourself, ano ba yung goal mo? Ano ba yung interest mo? Kasi as far as I know, the moment na pumasok kayo ng UMS, you already have something in your mind of what you want to achieve and who you want to be pagdating ng araw. Assess yourself, ano ba yung gusto mo? ano ba yung gusto mong marating pagdating ng araw at ano ba yung gusto mong maabot. Because that is one of the factors that you need to put into consideration before choosing a program. Hindi natin kailangan dito na sumabay tayo dun sa kung ano yung gusto ng mga friends natin, ano yung mga program na kukunin nila. Kasi at the end of the day, it is our life. It is our life. And of course, kasi nga buhay natin ito, we have the freedom to choose whatever path we want to take. So yun siya. Always remember, determine your interests and goals. Number 2, research different programs. I'm so sorry, pero naubo yung tao. Research different programs. For people, for some, they are actually having this kind of limited na parang limited options of what programs to take. Kasi nga, di ba, hindi naman kasi masyadong sinasabi yung ibang programs. In my case before, I am actually quite hesitant on and at the same time blind on what kind of program I'll be taking. So I chose a program that is flexible and somehow can adapt depending on the trend na meron sa ating bansa. Pero since we have access to internet, andyan si ChatGPT to assess kung ano ba and to help you somehow what program to choose. And at the same time, the Google in itself is very accessible because syempre, internet. Research different programs in which your interest and goals aligns. Yun yung tandaan natin na kailangan yung program na pipiliin natin is sakto sa kung ano yung gusto natin and sa kung ano yung program, ay yung ano yung goal na gusto nating maabot pagdating ng araw. Next is, consider your strengths and weaknesses. Magaling ka ba sa pagsusulat? Magaling ka ba sa pagsasalita? Is your weakness actually math kaya kayo nasa UMS?
Sir Archie, excuse Anay.
Yes po.
Nag-move ba ang slides mo or
Nag-move siya sa akon.
sa ako na? Ay, sige, sige.
Sa iyo wala.
Okay na.
Ay, okay. Iganito ko na lang siya, ma'am.
Yes,
Gawin ko na lang
yes.
yung ginawa ni Pugoy kanina. Sige. So number 3 na tayo, guys. Consider your strengths and weaknesses. Pero I am not saying that you should run away from your weaknesses kasi from time to time, say for example, katulad ni Kenneth Cole Odenshal, the one who recently aced the board exam for Chemtech, the top 2, which is an alumni from Isulan National High School. Based on the interview that he had sa kanya ng Mintech, actually, he pursued chemistry because he find it quite difficult. No, it's a difficult subject for him, yung pag-take ng science program and chemistry in itself. So, as long as you believe that you have the capacity to actually confront your weakness and at the same time improve it more, and you have the capability also to persevere and to be committed sa pag-achieve ng bagay na yun, then it's okay. Pero if you are in the zone na medyo gusto natin na medyo play safe, katulad ko, medyo play safe, we want our life to be kind of smooth sailing, pero walang smooth sailing po sa kanya ng college, pero Pero somehow, yung mag-a-align sa strength natin, then we should choose a program na kung saan maha-highlight kung ano yung alam natin, ano yung kaya natin gawin, and in order for us also to master that craft. Next is consider the job market. Pero in this case, I think everything is very okay naman talaga. It's just that medyo malakas ang competition when it comes to certain professions. Say for example, teacher. Masyado pong marami ang license na mga educators, but there's a lot for people who can actually take the job, and for the available positions sa kanya ng mga paaralan, medyo konti siya, no? Pero in a way also, consider also if that program can have an impact to the society. Pero gaya na sinabi ko kanina, no matter what program you will choose, it will always be political. So, in a sense also, no matter what program you will choose, you will be contributing to the society. Next and very last, yung pinaka-importante mo, pursue your passion. Pursue your passion. Because at the end of the day, kapag hindi mo gusto yung program, you will definitely find yourself struggling. Mahihirapan ka na ipagpatuloy na mag-commit doon sa nasimulan mo. So no matter what happens, even if it's quite difficult, as long as you are able to actually take that program, pursue it as long as it's your passion. Even if the job market in itself is medyo tabingi tayo, like very fierce ang competition, but because it's your passion, you will strive, you will thrive, and at the same time, you will see to it that you will achieve the goal na meron ka for that certain program. So moving on, we also have here, what are the common challenges we have in college? Actually, some of this list na nandito ay yung mga tawag ito. Something na nafe-feel talaga ng mga college students, and at the same time, something that I have also picked up from internet. And some are also my personal experience kasi syempre, masyadong makapal ang pagmumukha ng tao, lumayo-layo talaga sa ismulan, no? Anyway, we have here number 1, acculturation. This is actually for people na plano na mag-aral sa malayo. Kasi for sure, some of you here would want to continue their schooling sa kanya ng MSU Jensen, MSU Marawi. Some of you here are already planning to take the UP examination, the UPCAT, or baka nag-take na kayo kasi dito sa amin before, nag-take na sila last month. Some of you here plans to study here in USM. Some are also planning to study in SKSU or whatever university you want. And number 1 na problema dyan is the acculturation or the way or the process of adapting to new cultures. It is actually very difficult. If I were to explain and somehow share to you my experience before, the moment na tumapak ako sa Kabakan, 1 week akong hindi lumabas. Aside from the fact that I am introverted and doesn't like interacting with people, asocial po kasi yung tao, no? Asocial yung tao. I don't like to interact with people, and the mere thought of conversing and communicating with them stresses me out. Medyo mahirap po siya. And also, we have the what we call language barrier. Imagine nyo po, sa kanya na isulan, we mostly use Ilonggo and Tagalog as a form of communication. Pero dito, halo-halo po siya, like legit halo-halo. Para naging melting pot po siya ng diversity sa kanya ng mga iba't ibang grupo. We have here Magindanaon, from the IP groups. We also have here Ilocano, Bisaya, and I've already encountered people na very konyo, like the Davao konyo na style, because some of them are actually from Davao who just move here in Kabakan to pursue their studies. So yun siya. Number 1, acculturation. Number 2 is stress. Stress in a way na ibang-iba na po yung kultura ng college sa kanya ng senior high school. Some of you here don't believe yung nasa posting ng mga seniors nyo na nagsasabi na masyadong nakaka-culture shock ang college, but actually medyo malabnaw pa yun. Medyo malabnaw pa yun siya. Sa kanya ng high school, I know that some of you are already pulling an all-nighter para ipasa yung mga requirements na kailangan nilang ipasa kasi nga nire-require siya ng isang subject and ng isang teacher. And that's normal. Pero sa college kasi, ang nangyayari is sabay-sabay lahat ipapasa. Sabay-sabay siya lahat ipapasa. You have your schedule like MWF, TTH, but those teacher will choose a specific day kung kailan pwede siyang ipasa. So for example, our schedule is TTH, but I will ask you to pass your requirements on Friday. And somehow, nag-overlap din siya doon sa ibang mga requirements na kailangan yung ipasa on the same day. And because of that, nakakaroon ng mataas na stress level yung mga students. And that is very, very common. Next is, we also have here anxiety. These are the what ifs. Some of you here are like me. Some of you are like me na very introverted. Don't like to interact with people. Someone who would like to be on the corner ng classroom, hindi nakikita. And at the same time, yung very tahimik, yung mga mysterious person, ganon, naka-hood, eme. Pero ganon, we all have the anxiety. ano ba yung mangyayari? Ano kayong mangyayari pagdating ko sa college? Would I do okay? Will I be will I be able to perform similar to my performance on senior high school? Kaya ko ba yung lagpasan? Kaya ko ba yung tapatan? O baka mamaya mas mababa na siya? The uncertainties pumapasok sa atin. Actually, some of you here are asking themselves siguro na, am I ready for college? Am I already tawag nito, equipped to survive sa college? Kaya ko na bang isalba yung sarili ko? And actually, that is one of the common thing na nararanasan. Because sa amin, our department actually have this kind of extension program where we conduct psychosocial intervention to those people who have elevated levels of depression, anxiety, and stress. And majority of the time, ang mga participants po namin, our respondents are actually from first year students, no? First year na mga na level. Because they're still in the process of adapting. Number 4 is the homesickness. Ito yung number 1. Yung iba, plano nila na mag-aral sa malayo kasi they want to be independent and finally, makakalayas na sila sa poder ng mga magulang nila, kaya nilang gawin kung anong gusto nilang gawin, may sarili na silang pera every week, pag gusto sila kung ano yung bibilhin nila. Pero at the end of the day, kung katulad ko kayo na very sheltered, like the sheltered kid, someone who grew up starting from kindergarten up until senior high school, na nasa bahay ako, sa sarili naming bahay. It is actually quite difficult to manage all of the tawag nito negative emotion that you will be feeling right after na nakapasok ka na doon sa university na sobrang layo doon sa original mo na home. As for my case, since andito ako sa Kabakan tapos galing akong isulan, I'm sorry, isulan, medyo 1.5 hours siya if you will be taking the bus, pero 1 hour siya kapag kanya ng van. Depende sa patakbo, kasi kung mabilis yung patakbo ng van, mabilis din yung buhay mo, pero mabilis ka rin makararating. Pero yun nga, as someone like me who will take around 1.5 hour and at the same time very dagaton na tao, madaling masuka sa kanya ng biyahe. And Ma'am Pontalba is actually a witness to that kasi sinamahan niya kami before nung nag-take kami ng USMCE dito. She is a witness. Nakita niya talaga na nagluro, ganyan talaga yung tao. Pero because of that, I am quite hesitant to go back sa isulan. And that elevated the levels of negative feeling na meron ako, lalo na sa kanya ng homesickness. I really want to go home. I want to be in the umbrella of my mother and my father. I want to be in my house kasi andun yung comfort ko. Pero yun na nga, tawag ng adulting, hindi pa siya adulting pero papunta, transitioning ng adulting, we need to be independent. Kaya number 5 dito, independence. Because some of us are about to experience yung tinatawag natin na, okay, ako nang bahala sa lahat ng gagawin ko, but will I really be, will I really be able to navigate my life na ako lang mag-isa? Kaya ko ba na wala ng tulong yung parents ko, na wala na sila ngayon sa side ko, easily and readily na tutulong sa akin? Kasi most of the time, kapag may problema tayo, tumatakbo tayo sa mga parents natin and they are the one who tries to resolve it for us. And that is one of the challenge ng independence and something that you will also encounter pag nasa college na kayo. Next is the academic environment because not everyone aims to graduate together. Because some people, some of the classmates that you will be having pagdating ng college, very competitive. But what I would like to tell you is that it doesn't matter if you excel or not. What matters most is you finish the program na meron ka. Because to tell you honestly, marami akong kakilala na sobrang talino. Matatalino talaga nung senior high school nila. Pero pagdating ng kanya ng college, they are actually struggling. They're struggling in a way na they are no longer able to perform that good when it comes to academic if you were to compare it sa kanya ng senior high school. And I think some of your seniors from UMS also knows that because some of them are actually my students, which is kilala din ni Ma'am Pontalba. Sinusumpa na nila ako dito pero sige lang, dawat-dawat na lang, no? So yun siya. Another thing is, if sa kanya ng senior high school, minsan tinatawag pa tayo ng mga advisors, ng mga subject teachers natin about our lapses, anong kulang natin, mga na-miss na quizzes, and ano yung magagawa. Sa kanya ng college po, konti po yung mga ganyang instructors, assistant professors, and professors. Sobrang konti po niyan because most of the time, they will think na it is your responsibility to actually do your job and responsibility as a student. So if na-miss mo siya, you should be the one to update your teacher and you should be the one to communicate with that teacher kung ano yung pwedeng gawin para at least naman maayos siya if papayag. Number 7 is financial difficulties. Kasi aminin na natin, meron sa atin dito pumapasok ng university because of the free higher education. Yung sa kanya ng CHED na higher education. I mean, that is the reason why we want to be part of a university na government funded, di ba? Kasi meron tayong mga, yung iba sa atin dito, aminin na natin, financially struggling talaga. And that is actually very normal naman sa mga college students because some of those people I know are also working while at the same time studying. And it's quite difficult. Kahit na tumatanggap ka ng allowance sa parents mo, minsan nagmumukha ka pang scammer. Kasi nga, napakaraming dapat mong bayaran. Kasi di ba sabi, free higher education, libre yung tuition. Pero at the same time, meron kasing ibang mga ibang bayarin like printing, amutan doon sa classroom because of a certain project. And at the same time, meron din yung amutan na ginahingi ng college kahit na bawal, ganun. Ginagais lang siya for donation. Alam nyo na yan, ganyan nangyayari sa ating politics and sa ating government. Donation na merong specific amount, ganun. Number 8 is feelings of isolation. Kasi nga 'di ba, hindi naman parati nakasama natin yung parents natin, hindi rin parati nakasama natin yung mga kaibigan natin. So sometimes pagtapak natin ng college, lalo na kapag magkaiba yung program natin, feeling natin mag-isa lang tayo. And that lowers the mood na meron tayo, no? Because of the feelings of isolation, we develop feelings of stress, feelings of anxiety, and in extreme cases, we also develop symptoms of depression. So medyo mahirap siya. Number 9 is time management. Magaling ba kayo sa pagde-delegate ng mga trabaho tapos paggawa ng to-do list? Hindi yung tipo na gumawa lang kayo ng to-do list for the aesthetics yung tipo na kailangan yung sinusunod nyo talaga siya. Magaling ba kayo sa ganun? Kasi kung oo, mas mag-i-improve yan siya pagdating ng college kasi sandamakmak po yung binibigay sa inyong mga requirements. It is quite, you will be quite lucky if medyo hindi ganun ka-demanding yung instructor nyo or professor ninyo. Pero since it's college, medyo demanding talaga siya. Some of them will require you to do case analysis, tapos ipapasa nyo siya that day. Yung iba nga pinapagawa ng case analysis sa mismong araw. So medyo nakakabanas. And minsan, magpapaquiz sila 1 to 20, pero yung chapter sa kailangan mong basahin is from chapter 5 to chapter 12. That is around 8 chapters. Kaya medyo marami-rami yung babasahin mo. Pero for 20 items, I think that's not worth it. Kaya yung iba, they chose not to study na lang kasi wala. Alam nila, mababagsakin sila. Next is, of course, your roommates. Lalo na kapag sa malayong lugar kayo mag-aaral. You really don't have the capacity and capability to choose who your roommates will be. Lalo na kapag mag-isa ka lang. Hindi mo kasama yung mga kaibigan mo. Most of the boarding houses kasi and apartments here and even sa other places, they don't accept yung magkaiba yung sex, biological sex nung mag-roommate because there will be certain issues na yun na nga, nalalabas pag ganun. Most of the time, you will be paired with a roommate na same biological sex sa'yo. So, because of that, medyo mahirap siya kasi you don't know what the attitudes, the behaviors, and at the same time, paano ba siya gumalaw doon sa loob ng boarding house ninyo. Baka ikaw gusto mo ng sobrang tahimik na environment pero yung kasama mo masyadong maingay. May mga ganun kasi talaga and somehow that will affect you if you were studying, most probably you will look for an environment na very quiet. And supposedly, that environment is your room. Pero kasi nga maingay yung kaklase, ay yung kasama mo dun sa kwarto, maghahanap ka na lang ng iba. So yun siya, that is another challenge. So how to navigate it? Paano ba natin? Aside from navigating it, what can we do para somehow naman medyo okay tayo, no, when it comes to that? Number one is to connect. Always remember, guys, you are not alone. Hindi kasi kayo nag-iisa sa journey na kayo lang mag-isa. Actually, some of your classmates from the similar program that you will be taking are also people na nag-try na maging independent and lumayo sa pamilya nila. So, most probably, these are people also na nagsa-struggle. And it is a comfort for you people and at the same time, somehow, a chance to connect with them. When I say connect kasi this is when we try to socialize with people. We should not isolate ourselves because first of all, no man is an island. And mas magaan po yung problema and yung mga dinadala natin if sinishare natin siya sa iba. Number 2 is set clear goals. I know for sure that you are familiar with the term or the acronym na SMART, which is the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bounded. But what matters most is make sure that your goals are clear. Like you know what you want to achieve. Because the clearer the goal is, the clearer also the path that you will be taking. Imagine mo, sabihin mo dun sa sarili mo na, I want to be successful. Pero always remember, being successful have different pa kasi na mga different pa na areas. Would you like to be successful socially, personally, academically, financially, emotionally, or if masyado kang tawag nito pilingon na tao, you would like to be tawag nito successful holistically. You want to have everything in you na successful. Pero that would be quite a stretch. Parang masyado siyang mahirap i-achieve. Baka namatay ka na lang next step mo na siya mag-continue. So yun na nga, kailangan time-bounded din. Time-bounded. This is according to John Locke actually, no? Kasi he proposed also a clear goal setting. Sinasabi niya kasi doon na there should always be clarity in everything that, in every goal that we set in order for us to actually pursue it. Because if we make our goals quite ambiguous, quite vague, medyo malabo rin yung dadaanan natin. Hindi natin alam pa ng specific path ba yung kailangan nating daanan. Kaya nangyayari sa iba, kapag nagsiset sila ng goal, hindi nila alam talaga nung gusto nila, hindi siya klaro, ang nangyayari is nawawala sila. Even if naabot nila yung goal nila, instead of them, achieving that goal around 4 years, ang nangyari is nag-times 2. After 8 years pa nila na-achieve kasi nga hindi klaro kung ano yung goals nila. Pero as for your case, since you are still in the process of looking for your purpose and at the same time for your identity, most probably, wala pa kayong specific goals and it's okay. Okay lang yan siya, guys. It's okay. Kasi even I myself don't have a clear goal pa. Like, I really don't know what my purpose is, but as of now, naghahasik pa ako ng lagim dito sa USM. Sinusumpa pa ako dito ng mga tao. So yun siya. Number 3 is develop necessary skills. And when I say develop necessary skills, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina ng mga time management, ability to communicate with other people, and ability to socialize. Number 1 is, yung sinabi ko kanina na time management. That is actually very important. Kasi nga diba sinabi ko, bombarded tayo. Punong-puno tayo ng mga requirements na binibigay ng ating mga guro. So you need to really organize your time. Like very strict ka dapat. If you can be the tyranny of the should, like if you really need to do it right now, do it right now. Stop using the mañana habit. Kasi procrastinating will never be good. Gusto nyo ng example? Ako. I'm a crammer. I'm a procrastinator. Kaya at the end of the day, nasa-stress ako. Yung iba sa inyo nagsasabi dyan na, ay sir, I work well kasi under pressure. Pabumukha nyo. I work well under pressure. Sige. Delusion nyo yung sarili nyo. Kasi at the end of the day, kahit na sinasabi mong I work well under pressure, pag pinapasa na natin yung, sabi natin, paperworks, a reflection na lang, kasi parating ganyan ang pinapagawa sa kanya ng YUMS, no, aside from the bills and from case analysis, reflection. Ginawa mo siya the night before the deadline. Most probably, nung pinasa mo yung reflection mo, doon mo lang na-realize na napakarami niya palang typographical errors. And that would be a minus point sa kanya ng score mo kasi nga mali-mali yung grammar, mali-mali din yung pagtatype mo ng mga spelling. So much better if you were to do it ahead of time. Kasi nga 'di ba, if you were to make it today, at least you can polish it the next days. And after mo polish, at least you have the free time. Like you have all the time to actually enjoy yung free time na yon. You can do whatever you want. Say for example, play your games, mag-bedrat kung gusto niyo mag-bedrat, volunteer doon sa kanya ng mga ina-advocate ninyo, baka may speaking engagement kayo doon sa mga karatig bayan, you can do that. Kasi kapag wala na tayong ginagawa, ibig sabihin clear din yung schedule natin. And clear din yung utak natin because we are not thinking about what we should be doing instead of this. So yun. Next is socialization. This is actually something for us, no, na mga introvert. For people like me who are introvert. Because to tell you honestly, I am quite thankful for YUMS kasi ang demanding niya kasi kailangan nagre-report ka parati sa harapan. So yun, nasanay na lang yung tao na nagsasalita sa harapan. Pero I know if Ma'am Puntalba were to look back sa kanya ng mga araw na naging estudyante niya ako, say for example, nung grade 9, makikita niya ako natutulog lang tapos hindi nagsasalita sa klase kasi si Amir yung parating nagsasalita. Tapos si Impaw, hindi ako. Hindi pa ako ganito ka-talkative. Pero because of YUMS, I was able to develop my communication skills. I was able to be this kind of talkative, no, pagdating sa kanya ng mga bagay-bagay. And I was also able to learn how to assert myself. Sinabi kanina ni Sir nyo Pugoy, ni Sir Rowell nyo, sabi niya kanina na yung sa kanya ng story, no? Alternative, nakalimutan ko basta may alternative, basta ganun. Actually, that is for us to tell something about sa isang bagay na alam nating nakakasama, pero we can phrase it in a way na maganda. Kasi most of the time, yung iba kasi sa atin, if we were trying to communicate, very direct to the point. Like walang filter. We don't also take time to reflect kung ano ba yung mararamdaman ng tao once na sinabi na natin siya. For example, ganito. Yan kanong kaibigan mo, B, maganda ba sa akin tong headband na to? And ikaw, in the guise of sinasabi nating very prank ka na tao, sasabihin mo sa kanya na ang pangit. Yung sinabi mo, ang pangit B, hindi bagay sa'yo. I think that is not constructive criticism at all because you can phrase it in a way nga parang ganito. I think meron pang ibang headband na meron ka na mas babagay para sa current outfit mo. See for example, ito BO, para medyo okay siya. Try mo daw, titingnan ko. If ganun, medyo okay siya. Pero some of us are actually very direct to the point in a way na we come out very rude. So, we should develop the socialization and communication skills para at least naman makasurvive tayo sa society. Kasi if masyado tayong ganun, most probably, you will be ostracized. So, yun na nga, babalik tayo doon sa feeling of loneliness, sa taas yung stress, anxiety, and levels ng depression ninyo pagdating ng araw. Next is learn positive coping mechanism. Tatanungin ko kayo, positive ba yung coping mechanism na sinusuntok nyo yung pader kapag stressed out kayo? Yung tipo na sumisigaw kayo doon sa daanan. And yung tipo na tinatakbuhan nyo yung problema. Kasi to tell you honestly, that is not a positive coping mechanism. Walang mangyayari kung tinatakbuhan natin yung mga problema natin and even the challenges that we are experiencing. So what we should do is to confront it. Because at the end of the day, hindi siya mawawala not unless we have dedicated na ayusin siya. So yun. Ang kailangan natin gawin always is ano ba yung problema? If the problem is this, ano ba yung pwede kong gawin? Pagkatapos kong gawin, ano kayong possible na mangyayari? Another thing, some of you here are catastrophizing things. Like, For example, kasi alam naman natin, no, marami talagang requirements si Ma'am Pontalba. Sorry, Ma'am Pontalba, ikaw ang topic. Yes, Lay. Maraming pa-requirements si Ma'am Pontalba which I think are also relevant kasi very socially aware kasi Ma'am Pontalba. She wants you all to be also politically aware, socially aware, and at the same time, be equipped pagdating ng college. So I think maganda talaga yung gusto niyang mangyari. Pero aminin natin talaga na kadalasan ng oras, masyadong marami yung nabibigay ni Ma'am Pontalba na gagawin. Pero, kasi di ba kaya naman natin yung gawin, pero procrastinate kasi natin. Pero ganito, inisip kasi natin na, oh my God, masyadong maraming pinapagawa si Ma'am Pontalba, hindi ko to kayang gawin. Mababagsak na ako. Ayoko na. And what you do is, you shut down. What you can do is actually, tawag nito, chunk it all. Kunin mo yung pinakamahirap. Tapos, yung pinakamahirap na yan, huwag mong tignan as a whole. Huwag mo siyang tignan as a whole. Ang gawin mo, ano ba yung pwede mong gawin ngayon? Unti-untiin mo siya. Unti-untiin mo siya. Hindi yung isang bagsakan, sinalo mo lahat. Because that would be very detrimental for you. Very pangit yung mangyayari kapag ganun. So what you can do is you chunk it. Umpisahan mo dun sa pinaka-first step na pwede mong gawin. Because the moment that you started doing things, the more na magiging smooth yung process right after. Kasi yung pinakamahirap naman always is yung pag-uumpisa ng isang bagay. And yung pagtatapos ng isang bagay. So chunk it. Another. Mahilig kasi tayo sa pag-iisip ng mga what ifs. Say for example, or mahilig kasi tayo sa kanya ng tawag nito, mag-ruminate or isipin ng paulit-ulit yung mga bagay na wala naman tayong, na outside na ng control natin. When I say outside of our control, it is the perception of other people, the way they react to you, the way they perceive you, the way they trigger you, and what they say to you. Yun kasi yung mga bagay na hindi na natin makokontrol. Most of the time kasi yun yung iniisip natin, di ba? See for example, you would want to wear a certain type of dress. Pero ang nangyayari kasi is, iniisip mo na, what if i-judge ako ng ibang tao? What if sabihin nila na pangit? And that is very normal sa inyo because you don't want to be in a position na parang kinikriticize kayo. Pero at the end of the day kasi, we actually don't need to be mindful of those statements doon sa mga sinasabi ng ibang tao sa atin. Kasi, at the end of the day, those are outside of our control. No matter what we do, we can't change it kasi sa kanila yun. We don't have the capability to control what they should be thinking about us. So what we can control is actually how we react to these perceptions, how we react to these comments, and what kind of emotion we will be showing to these people. Kasi no, for example, sa bully, you really can't control the bullying ng mga tendency ng mga taong yan. Most of the time talaga inaaway ka. But because you reacted way too tawag nito, aggressively at the same time, way too energetically, ang nangyayari is, na-excite din yung bully because that bully is eliciting something out of you and that is your reaction. So instead of actually, tawag nito, reacting to that kind of insinuation, no, or that trigger, ang gagawin dapat natin is, we should remain calm and at the same time compose ourselves. Kasi kapag, ganito tip lang to, kapag may nang bully sa inyo, sabayan nyo siya. Kasi kapag gano'n ang ginawa nyo, nawawalan siya ng gana. Nawawalan sila ng gana. Because they are not getting the reaction that they want to get from you. So yun. Always remember lang na we shouldn't be focusing on the things that we can control, but we can focus on the things that we can control. Say for example, how we react, how we will interpret things, and how we will be processing everything. Next is, yung pinaka-importante talaga, build meaningful relationship or relationships. Kasi sa kanya ng college, ang number one mo na kailangan dito is support system. You really can't do anything alone. Kailangan mo ng mga kaibigan. Mga kaibigan na nag-share sa'yo ng similar goals, or if not similar goals, someone who will hype you up, someone who will be supporting your your goals and somehow also helping you to achieve it. Kasi at the end of the day, kailangan natin ng support system. See, for example, magkaklase kayo, di ba, no? Kasi ganyan naman, most of the time, yung mga support system natin, yung mga klase natin. In a way, naging support system din natin yung ibang mga kaklase natin na hindi natin close, in a way na tinanong natin sila, tapos na kayo sa assignment na ganito? Tapos sasabihin nila na, hindi pa kami nakakapag-umpisa. Somehow support system siya kasi na-comfort ka, na-realize mo na, okay, hindi lang pala ako nag-iisa. Yes, Lord, thank you. Hindi ako nag-iisa. Meron pang hindi pa nakakagawa. Pero yun, always remember, build meaningful relationship. Kasi most of the time, the relationship that you make sa kanya ng college are the kinds of relationship that will last pagdating ng araw. Some of you might see this kind of relationship as a business type, like business type of relationship, like meron tayong friendship because I can get something out of you and you can get something out of me. Pero at the end of the day kasi we also support each other and that's what's important. So yun. I think that's it for my presentation. So do you have any questions? Ay, hala. Wait lang. Sige, go. Wait lang, someone is raising their hands. We have your number 1, Michael Halandoni. Yes po. Do you have any question po? Oh, maybe these people here na nag-raise ng hands kay wala na accidentally lang na ganun yung icon dito sa may baba. Pero yeah, do we have here from the audience na gustong magtanong? I mean, I can actually somehow, cater you.
Me, sir.
Yes po, go daw. Mr. Mark.
Sir. Hi, sir. Good evening po.
Good evening.
So, I just want to ask you, sir, what time management techniques can help students balance their academic and personal lives to reduce stress po? And that's it, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for that question. I think what you can do is actually put things in a hierarchy. Ilagay mo sa baba yung mga pinakakailangan mo nang gawin and ilagay mo sa pinakataas yung mga hindi pa kailangan gawin. Because at the end of the day kasi, yung mga kailangan mong gawin, yung kailangan mong i-prioritize. So, what I mean by that is, set your priorities right. Kasi most of the time kasi yung ginagawa natin, inuuna natin yung mga madadaling bagay, di ba? Kaya at the end of the day, ang nangyayari, na-overwhelm tayo kapag natambakan na tayo ng mga bagay na mahihirap. So, much better if you were to unahin yung mga bagay na mahihirap tapos pumunta ka doon sa mga pinakamadali. So, use a hierarchy system and put also a strict time na kung kailan mo siya gagawin. Kasi most of the time, ang ginagawa natin is magsiset tayo ng time, tapos after nun, pagdating ko nga alas 10, gagawin ko yung assignment. Pero pagdating ng alas 10, instead of gagawin yung assignment, ang ginagawa natin ay nag-TikTok, nag-Facebook, naglalaro ng kung ano mobile games. For example, Valorant, Dota, PUBG, Code M, or whatsoever. Yun yung ginagawa natin. So if you were to be setting a schedule or a certain thing that you need to do at a certain time, be sure na dapat gagawin mo siya at that exact time. Hindi yung gumawa ka ng to-do list for the sake lang na nakagawa ka ng to-do list. So yan po. So yeah, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Merong nag-chat dito, no? Sabi niya dito, sir, my question is, sabi ni, I don't know how will I pronounce it, but sige, Januel Ignacio. Sir, my question is, ano mas maganda, following my parents' choice for my college career, which they believe is best for me, or pursuing the path that aligns with my own interests and passions, even if it means going against their expectations? Medyo mahirap siya, no? Kasi you are torn in between following what your parents want you to, what wants you to choose, and at the same time, kung ano yung gusto mong gawin. Pero assess yourself. What do you prioritize? Pero kasi nasa family tayo or nasa type tayo ng country that we value family harmony and social harmony above all else because we are in a part of the collectivism type of culture. Pero I think what matters most here is your passion. Kasi at the end of the day, even if sila yung nagpapaaral sa atin, I am so sorry but this is just my perception ha. No matter what kasi, even if sila yung nagpapaaral sa atin, at the end of the day, it's our life. And they don't have the capacity and at the same time the authority to dictate what kind of life we need to follow. First of all, hindi naman kasi sila yung magsasuffer if ever man na mafu-full tayo ng stress kapag pinursu natin yung program na gusto nila pero ayaw natin. Pero, if you were to pursue a program na gusto mo, like you are very passionate about, no matter how difficult that is, at least it is by your own choice, kaya mo siya kinuha. And you will have no regrets. So yun. It's okay to go against the expectation of your parents, pero let me just tell you this. You should have an open communication with your parents. Tell them bakit ayaw mo yung program na gusto nila para sa'yo and bakit yung gusto mong program. Explain your side. Kasi madadala pa naman most of the time sa communication. Just make sure lang na you assert yourself in a way na very kalmado, very polite, and very respectful. Because at the end of the day, parents pa rin naman natin sila. We also have here Michael Halandoni ulit. Sabi niya dito, why is building connections important for personal and professional growth? Now, eto, for personal growth in a way that if you surround yourself, sabi nila ha, if you surround yourself with smart people, you will be smart, you will also be smart. So sabi nila doon always, kapag gusto mong tumalino, kailangan matalino din yung nasa environment mo. So that is also an example for a situation where you can see personal growth. And at the same time, most of the time kasi sa atin, we are struggling to find the right na mga groups. So I think it's really better for us to choose who our friends will be. As long as we share the same goals, we share the same, not exactly the same perspective, but somehow same perspective, much better. For professional growth in a way na you might be seeing each other in the field. Kasi, say for example, no, even if hindi mo siya ka-program, your clubs, the organizations that you will be subjecting yourself as a member of, pagdating ng araw, that is actually a connection in itself. The what we call this, the faculty members of your departments, that will be a connection in itself. And that will be tawag na to, a way for us to grow professionally. Kasi the more na meron tayong relationship with these brilliant people, the more na mas marami tayong makukuha. Let me just tell you this is just my mindset ha. The more na mas maraming matatalino doon sa paligid ko, the more na mas masaya ako. Bakit? Mas marami akong magagatas sa kanila na information. The more na mas matalino siya, the more that we need to seek help from them. Because, yun na nga, gatasan natin sila ng information. Don't be threatened kapag masyado silang matalino. Kasi at the end of the day, magbe-benefit ka sa kanila. Next is, you also have here from Amira Galmak. Sabi niya dito, Sir, from the perspective of a student who's not fond of doing group activities, rather will do it alone because it is more convenient and more practical. Is this a healthy approach po in college? If not, how can we settle this kind of mindset, sir? Sabi niya. Actually, there are times that we want to do things alone talaga kasi yung mga kasama natin minsan talaga, they are not that competent. Aminin natin, I am so sorry pero I am not fond of sugarcoating. Merong mga kaklase talaga tayo na not competent. And somehow that frustrates us kasi we want something, a certain quality, a certain level of quality, but they are not able to deliver that kind of expectation and quality that you're expecting. Pero sa kanya ng college kasi, what matters most here is the fact that we need to work together. Kasi this is not a personal journey. It is a collective journey as a class. Your goal is not to graduate by yourself, but to graduate as a class. Pero merong mga instances like certain programs like engineering, hayaan mo na yan sila dyan sa buhay nila. Ganyan talaga yung buhay nila dyan. Kailangan nila mag-graduate mag-isa. Kasi yung mga iba kasi sa kanila naiiwan talaga because their program is very demanding. Naging normal na siya dito sa kultura ng USM na kapag sinabi natin engineering student po, gagraduate po siya ng mga 6 years, at least 6 years. Yung iba dyan mag-extend pa, mag-letter sa deans na i-extend pa yung stay nila. Hindi pa sila i-kick out kasi overstaying students na sila. Pero yun, sabi mo rin, tawag nito, how can we settle this kind of mindset, sir? Always remember lang to, tawag nito, to compromise. Because not all the time, kailangan tayo yung masunod. Always remember, Gani, we are in a collective type of culture. We value social harmony. And we also need these people in order for us to graduate. Even if you can do it alone, more practical if you do it alone. At the end of the day kasi, your instructor, your professor instructed you to do it as a group. And that group activity will also teach you to, tawag nito, to function as a group. And that is very important when you are in the real world setting. Kasi at the end of the day, hindi naman ikaw mag-isa yung magpapatakbo ng kumpanya. Hindi naman ikaw mag-isa yung magiging leader, di ba? Kasi ang leader, kasama po niyan mga members, the constituents. And if you are not able to work well with this kind of people, then what's the point of you being a leader, di ba? So might as well try to compromise. Ang pinakamagandang gawin talaga dito is be a democratic leader. Listen to the voice of your groupmates and assess kung ano yung pinakamagandang gawin. Like the perfect course of action that you need to take para ma-resolve yung problem. Because always remember, even if you can do it alone, hindi rin siya pwede na always alone mo lang siyang ginagawa, na ikaw lang mag-isa. Ang pangit po ng buhay na nagkukultivate po tayo and nag-normalize ng mga social loafers. Kaya po ang Pilipinas ganito because most of the people, I am not saying na lahat, most of the people are actually social loafers. They want to receive but they don't want to be active and participate to change. Kaya yun. Next, meron tayo dito, sabi ni Juliana Mendoza. I am so sorry po, Gwen, naubos ko yung oras, pero let's go. Sabi niya dito, Sir, what if they do not accept your choice of path that you wanted? If that is the case, you can always, you can always follow muna, siguro, no? Ang pangit kasi talaga ng ganyan, no? I am so sorry, pero pangit kasi talaga siya na sitwasyon na kailangan nating sundin kung ano yung gusto ng mga parents natin kasi we are obligated nga gani siguro because they are the one providing for our education. Pero if that is the case, then okay, pursue it. But always remember, there are still a lot of time for you to pursue your passion. And at the same time, sabi ko nga sa inyo, di ba, hindi kasi linear yung path natin when taking and pursuing our goals. Hindi kasi siya linear. Say for example, gusto kong maging advocate ng tawag nito, Sustainable Development Goals. O sabihin natin, SDGs. Gusto ko maging advocate ng SDGs. Sabihin na lang natin siguro yung, nakalimutan ko na yung mga SDGs, pero sige, sabihin natin number 2, quality water ba yun? Something ganun. Pero yun, sabihin natin ganun. Hindi naman required na kailangan pasok talaga ako sa NVISI na program for me to be an advocate of Sustainable Development Goals. Because at the end of the day, I can still use my program, my current program, as a platform to also advocate this kind of movement. Always remember, always remember lang, hindi ultimatum yung prior program mo because at the end of the day, you can still take your program kapag meron ka ng pera and if you still have time, if you really want it. And at the same time, hindi kasi limiting always yung program natin dun sa mga bagay na gusto nating gawin. Because at the end of the day, even if hindi mo gusto yung program, kaya mo pa rin gawin kung ano yung mga gusto mo. See, for example, you are into writing, pero sabi ng nanay mo, okay anak, mag-chemistry ka, kailangan mong gumawa ng mga gamot, ng mga droga. Yung droga na legal ha, yung binebenta sa pharmacy. Ganon. Para yumaman tayo. Ganon, sabi ng nanay mo. You can pursue that. Tapos nakita mo sa sarili mo naman na you have the capacity and capability to actually make that a reality. Kaya mo naman gawin. Pero at the same time kasi, hindi naman sa kanya ng chemistry lang yung, hindi kasi limiting yung chemistry. You can still use other platforms to write. For example, you can be a speaker. Inasabi na natin, no, kunwari, si Chris Jan, one of your speakers tomorrow, no? Chris Jan is actually a chemistry graduate. Pero at the same time, he is also very vocal when it comes to politics. And that is somehow hindi ganun ka-connected sa program niya. Even if sinabi ko kanina na lahat ng programs, no matter what that is, very political siya. You can still be an instrument to whatever advocacies and whatever program you want to advocate, even if hindi align yung program mo. So at the end of the day, what matters most here is that you pursue your passion. Even if hindi mo na passion yung program na pinasukan mo. So yun. Sabi rin dito ni Lawrence Padilla, Sir, what are some common challenges students face when trying to prioritize their mental health while managing academic and social commitments? Prioritize their mental health, common challenges while managing academic and social commitments. Actually, no, ang number one talaga na nasasagasaan when we are prioritizing our mental health, social relationship. Because most of the time, kung sino kasi yung mga nasa paligid natin, sila yung nakaka-stress. Nakaka-stress talaga sila. Kaya ang nangyayari, we step back, we withdraw ourselves to those kind of situation na makikita natin sila or we interact with them. Yun yung isa sa mga challenges. So what you can do is, always remember to choose your circle. Choose a healthy circle. They will drain you. Not just emotionally, psychologically pa. Sometimes spiritually din. So always remember to choose your circles. And at the same time, meron din mga instances where our mental health is actually, yun na nga, tawag nito, na-atake because of the academic commitments. Pero yun nga, sabi ko kanina, hindi naman yung magiging problema if you are able to improve your time management skills. Like, you prioritize what is something na kailangan mo nang gawin and ano yung hindi mo pa kailangan gawin. Prioritize mo, i-put mo siya into hierarchy. If you can do that, then most probably you will be having a, somehow medyo okay na mental health. And also to tell you people, you don't need to actually focus too much on your academics pagdating ng college. Enjoy life. That is one of my regrets. I focused too much on academics to the point that I neglected my social life. Kaya ang nangyari, wala. Para akong pinakawalang aso ngayong nagtuturo na ako. So yun, have fun. Make it as a way na magkakaroon ka ng unwinding moments, ganyan. So yun. Tingnan pa natin baka may nagtanong pa dito. Ala shit, dami, wait lang. Last question ha. Sabi dito ni JV Pera, sabi niya dito, Sir, what advice would you give to students who feel pressured by their families or peers to choose a certain programs po? Always remember, you at the end is the one who will choose what you want. Pero of course, let's put into consideration yung gustong gawin ng mga parents natin or gustong ma-achieve ng parents natin para sa atin. Pero at the end of the day kasi, tayo kasi yung sasabak sa giyera, hindi sila. Kung sa kanya pa siya ng tawag nito, metaphor, commander sila na nagbibigay ng command, pero ikaw yung sundalo na pwedeng mamatay doon sa giyera. So what will you do? What you can do is actually think for yourself. As of now, maybe some of you here are having this kind of thought na napakahirap ng sitwasyon ko kasi I am torn between following my parents' decision at the same time what my passion is. Pero nga, sabi ko kanina gani, di ba? You don't need to actually be in a program na very passionate ka. Kasi you can still do your passion sa ibang bagay in different platforms. So yun. I think that's it for now because we've already consumed a lot of time. But I think, sige, i-kuan ko na lang ito. Tawag nito, i-copy-paste ko na lang. Copy-paste ko na lang itong mga questions nyo dito that I was not able to answer para I can answer it from time to time kasi medyo busy pa po yung tao no. Examination week kasi namin next week. Tapos nilalagnat pa ako ngayon. Pero I'll be sending a document nitong mga questions nyo na sasagutan ko. Bibigyan ko ng sagot kay Ma'am Pontalba. So yun, I'll be giving this stage, the virtual stage to your tawag nito, to the advisor of the debate na club,
So,
to Ma'am Pontalba. Yes, Slay.
thank you very
Sana
much,
yun.
Sir Archie.
Ano po tatanggal? I can't stop presenting, Bobo.
O, diba? Sige, I'll give the floor to Roel.
Yes, thank you so much, Ma'am Ira. Thank you so much, Archie, for a very nice presentation this evening. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone had a very good night listening to Archie about the discussion about career path and choosing career path for future careers. Don't worry, guys, for all of your questions. Okay. Sorry. Don't worry, for all of your questions, we will be handing off feedback forms and debriefing forms. Ma'am Ira will be sending a feedback form to you. Pwede nyo pong ilagay doon ang inyo pong mga katanungan, and we will be sending that to Archie. If the question is directed to Archie, we can do that. We can actually send that to Archie. And before we end, can we all, if not all, kung sino lang ang makakaya, can we actually turn on our cameras, guys, for a quick photo opportunity, for a quick photo screenshot of our screens? Kung sino po ang makakaya na maka-open ang kanilang camera, can we do that? For a quick, quick screenshot. Can
Hindi
we,
ko makita ang panel, Pogs.
why?
Hindi ko
Ako na lang
makita ang panel. Ayun.
Makal ka daw bago laptop, ma'am.
Ay, grabe. Hindi naman. Wait lang. Hindi lagi makita ang paano ni siya? Oh my God. Ayun, wait
Okay,
lang.
can on our videos, everyone. All right. Sige, let's give, I think, 30 seconds for everyone to. Sige.
Hindi ko makuha ng iban. Pila lang ni sa akon, oh. Makita mo?
Hindi siya para sa Zoom number page.
Yes, oo, 113 ang ara diri. Hindi ko makita ang iban.
Hindi siya makaya because the largest, I think, for the layout is 49.
Ano ni siya? Wala na talaga. By slide, hindi makita. Sino ano dira, be? Makatawag sina, maka-screenshot. Sino maka-screenshot sa tanan?
Hindi man
I'll
makita.
try
Ako,
screenshot.
ay,
Yung name lang, ma'am?
Ha?
hindi masakop
Yan
kanan,
lang.
ma'am.
Kaya gani, unlike sa may Zoom no, nga tanan, pila lang tala makita.
Yes.
Kung ano lang sa screen mo, ma'am.
Smile!
Amo lang to, ma'am.
O sige, smile! Gagawin sila. Picture na lang kamo dito, ha? Hindi na nag-open. Hindi na nag-open. Siya? Sige, chokes na. See you tomorrow night.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, Ma'am Pontalba.
Bye, Ma'am Pontalba.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye po,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Sir Roel and Sir Aki. Thank you po, Sir
Bye-bye.
Term, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, chairman.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye,
Bye, ma'am. Good night.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Mamaya. Phone pa kami, ma'am.
Goodbye.
Bye, ma'am. Mamaya. Phone pa kami, ma'am.
Kalo na sa largo.
Magkakaroon na tayo.
Mag-end ang
Goodbye, good evening.
Bye, ma'am. May pa kami bigakaon, ma'am.
Okay, bye. Tawag kay Roel. Ha? Sorry lang. Okay man? Sige Padayon tani sa sunod. Ano to? Wala akong klase buwas. Sa diin? Ano nga klase? Ay, oo, may klase ko ba sa nasyonal nga aman?